Now we covered some order flow basics earlier in the presentation. Now this is a second set of order flow basics. We needed some understanding before we can move on to these order flow basics, and we will now cover them. All right. So the first is order flow chart type. Okay. There are two types of order flow chart that are commonly used. We'll go back to the order flow chart. This chart is a simple candlestick chart. This can also be plotted as a bar chart. So you can see this is an up bar. It has an open, high, low, and close, just like a candlestick chart. All right. So it can be plotted as a candlestick chart. If I go to data series, I can change this candlestick to open, high, low, close and say okay. And you will see that this is being plotted as a bar chart. So this is the most common way of plotting order flow chart. All right. Either candlestick or bar chart. But these are time based charts. That is, this is a candlestick chart of 15 minutes. All right. 15-minute chart is being plotted. We can also plot range bar charts. Many traders, they are using range bar charts. All right. So instead of minute, I can say range, and instead of 4, I can say 400 ticks. So 400 ticks will be 2 point, right? So make it no, not 2, 20 actually, 400. All right. So if I say apply, now each bar height is 20 points. All right. So what I'm doing, if the height increases beyond 20, I will plot a new bar. If it is within 20, does not matter how long it takes. All right. Does not matter how long it takes for the market to cover the 20 points. If it happens within 1 minute, the next bar will be plotted. If it takes half an hour and it stays within the 20 point limit, only one bar will be plotted. All right. So I can give you an example. If you look at this bar, the timestamp is 1507. The next bar is plotted at 1508. So these 20 points were crossed within 1 minute. But the next bar is plotted at 1516. So for this bar to complete, it took 8 minutes. And for this bar to complete, it took just 1 minute. So we can plot order flow charts on minute by minute basis or range bar charts. Okay, it works on both. Many traders, they swear by the range bar charts, but I prefer to use 15-minute charts because I am correlating the action on this chart with my market profile chart. And since we are plotting this on a 30-minute chart, I would like my order flow chart to match with that. And that is the sole reason I am not using range bar charts. Instead, I am using simple time based chart, 15-minute chart, so that I get 2 bars within a single letter on a market profile chart, and I can, better understand the markets using this. Make sense? So that is the first basic point, that is what type of chart can be used. Then we saw aggressive buy order and aggressive sell order. Let us again go back to the order flow chart. And we now know that aggressive buy orders will be plotted on the right side. Aggressive buy order is same as market buy order, and aggressive sell order will be plotted on the left side. So aggressive sell is nothing but market sell. aggressive sell orders will be matched against passive buy orders or limit buy orders, whereas aggressive buy orders will be matched against passive sell or limit sell orders. Now we are very clear on this point. All right, let us move on. What was the next point in the list? Box size. Let us go back to the order flow chart. Now box size is the vertical height or number of points each box will cover. So if you start here at the top of the box and you come to the bottom of the box, it will cover a fixed amount of distance. What that distance will be depends on the box size you set in this indicator section. So what we are using 125. Okay. So for simplicity, I am making it 100 for the moment. All right. Now, what I want to see is my calculation correct? All right. So what I'm saying, 100 box size means 100 into the tick size for Bank Nifty, which is 0.05. So the answer is 5. What it means is that each box on this order flow chart should cover 5 points. Is it true? Let us check. Let us check this 327 box. If I go to the top, the reading is 32582, and if I come to the bottom, the reading is 32577. So what it tells me, 32577 plus 5 will be 32582. Each box will be covering 5 points. What it means is that any trading that is happening within these 5 minutes will be plotted in this box. So when the price is crossing this 5 minutes, it can go in a straight line. It can trade within those 5 minutes for some time and then cross. All right. So either of these two situations can happen. But during this 5 points of travel, whether it is a straight line, immediate, or it takes time, whatever market buy orders are executed or aggressive buy orders are executed will be plotted on the right side, and whatever market sell orders are executed within this travel of 5 minutes will be plotted on the left side. So if I look at this box, I can see 327 market buy orders were executed in the travel from these 5 points. They are plotted on the right side, and 246 market sell orders were executed and they are plotted on the left side. Make sense? That is how aggressive buy and sell orders are plotted within a box size. Why do we do that? If I go back, and if I have now used a 5-point box size, all right. Now, if I go to indicators and if I make it one tick, I don't know, it might hang the software, but let us just try. See what happens. Probably will take a lot of time to calculate, or it might just hang the software. It will hang the software. Anyways, we will discuss the next point till that. 5 points, Mahadev. If I've said 5 minutes, sorry, 5 points. All right, then we come to delta. Okay, and delta is of two types. One is vertical, one is horizontal. All right, how these two are plotted, we will have to go back to the order flow chart to understand. But please understand, delta will be vertical as well as horizontal. What other parameter are we plotting vertically and horizontally? Can you just tell me? So far in our volume, exactly. So when you are plotting volume horizontally, we call it volume profile. And when you are plotting it vertically, it is just, a simple volume at the bottom of the price chart. All right. So we know that. So similarly, delta also we are plotting vertically and horizontally. Let us go back to the chart and see. All right. Now we have to look at delta. All right. Now I said delta is calculated vertically as well as horizontally. All right. First, let us look at vertical delta. Now we saw all the market buy orders were plotted on the right side. Market sell orders were plotted on the left side. How do we calculate vertical delta? Vertical delta is this. All right. It can also be plotted in the table format below the order flow chart, right? So you can do that also. But I prefer graphical representation, so I am just plotting this, uh, histogram or candle, chart of delta. All right. So how do you calculate this delta? Very, very simple. You just subtract market sell orders from market buy orders, and what you get is delta. We add all the market buy orders, we add all the market sell orders, we total them, we take the difference, and that is your delta. If market buy order is greater than market sell order, you will get positive delta. If market buy order is less than market sell order, you will get negative delta. On this bar, the market buy orders were greater than market sell orders. You got green or positive delta. On this bar, the market buy orders were less than market sell orders. You got negative delta. Make sense? That is how this delta is plotted. All right. So this is vertical delta. Now let us look at horizontal delta. Horizontal delta is again very simple. Let us come here. Let us look at this top box. We have 80 market buy orders, 39 market sell orders. Again, how will we calculate delta? Market buy minus market sell. So 80 minus 39, 41 is the delta. Since market buy is greater than market sell, it is positive delta. All right. Now, how do we confirm? What we do is we go here and we plot the delta chart. Okay. And this is the bar we were talking about. And you can see number 41 is plotted. That is exactly the difference between 80 minus 39. Right. Unfortunately, for I don't know why it is like that, but here we are not plotting it in green or red. Okay. But we are plotting it in positive and negative. So you can see here the delta was positive 41, but on this bar it is negative 24. So let us go back to our normal chart and see if this negative 24 calculation holds. So we go to our bid ask imbalance. All right. So previously we calculated on this 80 minus 39. Now we come to this. We have 54 market buy orders minus 78 market sell order. And obviously here the answer is going to be minus 24. Oh, sorry, 24 or 26, whatever is the answer. It will be negative because the market buy order is less than market sell order. Makes sense? So that is how horizontal delta will be calculated. Okay. So these are the two types of deltas that we sometimes use. Okay. Usually the horizontal delta is not used that much, but you can plot those delta charts. Okay. You can also plot delta shaded volume. So if you use this, if the delta is very, very big, it will be a certain color. Okay. It will be a light color. If the delta is very, very dark, it will be a dark color. So that is how delta shaded volume is plotted. But I don't use all these charts. No, I simply use my bid ask imbalance chart, right? These are enough for me. And I am more worried about the vertical delta than the horizontal delta, right? Let us go back to, then we come to cumulative delta. Now this is again very, very simple. If you go back to the chart, you'll understand that we start calculating cumulative delta right from the first bar of each day. All right. On each day, we calculate cumulative delta. So at the start of the day, it is reset to 0 and we start with the delta of the first bar. So here, we get this as the delta of the first bar. This is the delta of the second bar. So cumulative delta is simply calculated like whatever is the delta on the this bar is added to the previous bar's delta and you get this new figure. Okay. If it is just positive all along, this number will be positive. At some point, it will turn negative if the market turns down and delta turns negative. This cumulative delta can even go negative. All right. So if I just squeeze it, today, the whole time the delta was positive. You can see this is the zero mark. If I have to, we'll just plot a zero line here. All right. So you can see for the whole day, delta stayed above this zero line. It means the cumulative delta was positive throughout the day. But does it have to remain positive throughout the day on all days? No. Sometimes when the negative delta takes over, this can also cross down below zero. On downtrending days, usually the delta will remain below the zero value. On sideways days or volatile days, this cumulative delta can jump above and below the zero line. All right. So that is cumulative delta. It is reset to zero at the start of the day. And then you start adding the delta of the first bar and so on and so forth. And you calculate the cumulative delta. All right. So that is cumulative delta for you. We will see how we can use cumulative delta. Then there is delta divergence. Again, let us go back. There are two ways this delta is plotted. Okay. Right now we are plotting this delta as cumulative delta, but you can also plot it as simple delta or divergence delta. So I'll select divergence here and I'll say okay. And now what is happening is instead of plotting a cumulative value, it is plotting delta on individual bars. All right. And then you can use this to find out if there are negative or positive divergences happening throughout the day. All right. So where can we find a good example? But there are certain rules, all right, to calculate delta divergence. Normally, what people will say is that here we made a high, here we made a higher high, all right, and here we made a delta, here we made a lower delta. So people will call this as negative delta divergence. For me, this is the incorrect way of plotting delta divergence. There are certain rules that you need to follow to be able to call certain divergence as delta divergence. All right. What are those rules? Let us go back to the PPT. We will first read through those rules and then we will come on the chart and again try to see the examples of that. So, how does a positive delta divergence occur? Let us draw it. We have a bar which is closing negative, that is lower than the open. The delta on this bar, this is the zero value, is negative. On the next bar, we again go down This is the open, this is the close. So it is a negative bar. This is the open, this is the close. This is another negative bar. Delta is again negative, but this time the delta value is above the delta on the prior bar. So you see, we make a lower low, we make a higher low on delta. But both these bar have to be down bars. This delta has to be negative. So closes down, first bar, negative delta. Second bar also closes down. Delta is negative, but it makes a, oh sorry, this is a typo. Oh, it makes a, no, it's not a typo. Makes a lower low, this is correct, but makes higher delta. So here you can see we made a lower low, but we make a higher delta. But delta has to be negative, it cannot go positive, and the bars have to be down bars. Only then we can say that this is a positive delta divergence. Same with negative delta divergence. A bar opens here and closes higher. So this is open, this is closed. And delta is nice and positive. Then the next bar again opens lower, closes higher, makes a higher high. But delta makes a lower high, but it still has to be positive. Now you can say that this is a negative delta divergence. This was a positive delta divergence, right? So what are the conditions? First bar closes up, yes, close is higher than the open. Delta is positive, yes, it is above zero. Second bar closes up, yes, close is higher than the open. Delta is again positive, but makes a higher high. Price makes a higher high, but delta makes a lower high. All right. It is positive but makes a lower high. This can be considered as a negative delta divergence. So bars go up, delta is positive but it makes a lower high. It is a negative delta divergence. Let us look at examples of this. All right. So here, let us look at these last two bars. Negative delta divergence. What do we have? First bar is an up bar. Second bar is an up bar. Made a higher high. Delta, first bar positive, second bar positive, but makes a lower high. This is classic negative delta divergence. This is a good negative delta divergence. Here, first bar up bar, second bar is a down bar. This is not allowed. This is not allowed. Okay. So we cannot go forward and we cannot say this is a negative delta divergence. All right. This is how you calculate delta divergence. Do we have a example of positive delta divergence? Unfortunately, today was a nice trend day. So there are no examples of positive delta divergence. Can we spot a negative delta divergence? I think here we have. See, here what happens? Higher bar, positive bar, again an up bar, higher high, positive deltas, but second bar makes a lower delta. This is negative delta divergence. Even this bar and this bar makes a negative delta divergence because this is an up bar, this is an up bar, made a higher high, but we made a lower delta. Again, this is negative delta divergence. And obviously, after that, the prices move sideways. But it is not so mechanical that just because you get a delta divergence, the prices will reverse. There is a lot of context that goes behind that. So, whenever we go to these patterns and we try to use delta divergence in finding a trade, it will not be so straightforward. All right. Okay. So, let me go back to this. this is all I had to cover today. Okay.